Welcome to developer.constantcontact.com. In today's webcast, we're going to take a look at using the Constant Contact API, registering with Mastery Developer, and then also building an application using our PHP SDK. To get started, we're going to get started by clicking the big yellow Get Started button. This will take you to a page where you can either set up your developer account or log into an account if you've already created one with the Mastery. Keep in mind your developer account is not your Constant Contact account, but is an account with Mastery itself. So if you do not have an account, just click Setup, and that'll take you to a page that looks just like this. Just enter your username, a display name, an email address, and then a password at the bottom, and you can create an account with the Mastery. If you already have an account, go ahead and jump right to the Get API key, click on that, and then you'll be asked to sign in. To do this, again, just enter your username and password. Keep in mind this is your Mastery username and password, not your Constant Contact credentials. Once you sign in, you'll be taken to create an application. This is how you get the API key for your application. So in this case, we're going to call it PHP Video Demo. We could enter a company name, our website, a description of the application, and then if you're going to be using OAuth URI redirects, for example, if you want somebody to log in through the Constant Contact platform and then be redirected back to your application, you could fill that in here. We're not going to be doing that, so we're just going to go with the http://localhost. Keep in mind that is a required field, so you'll have to enter it one way or the other. And then we're just going to do the standard API access. We do have a partner API access that provides more endpoints and less limitations. But in order to use that, you'll need to sign up for our free technology partner program. If you want to get listed on our marketplace and do some more things, I'd highly recommend that. And then just click Register Application. Once we do that, we're going to be given a API key and secret. Go ahead and copy and paste that key there. And we'll jump right into our application and just create a new file called index.php. And in this application, and you'll notice that we got an email from the Constant Contact saying, hey, this is your new API key. We're just going to define the API key so I don't forget it. And that's all we're going to start with. Now if we go back to the developer panel here, we can go to the libraries, and we can go to the PHP SDK on GitHub. So I'm just going to open that in a new link here. And if you're familiar with Git, one way you can actually download this and keep it up to date is by creating a Git repository and then adding this as a remote repository that you could pull in. If you're not familiar with Git and really don't want to go through that hassle, don't worry. You can just download it as a zip and then move the files into your folder. And you can see we've already done that in this directory here. So we have the CT folder, which has all of our components in a sub-source folder. So now we have done that, we can go ahead and really start working on our code. And the first thing we want to do is we want to include the autoload file. To do that, let's do a require once, src, ct, and then autoload.php. What this will do is as we use the classes and objects, they'll be automatically loaded for us. So we don't have to worry about, do we need to require this, require that. Everything that gets called on and any dependencies will be called in automatically. And because we are using the nice little autoloader here, and we're also following PHP 5.3 conventions, we'll need to declare which objects we're going to use throughout this script here. So we'll start off with the use statement, and ct backslash, let's do constant contact. And this is the main class that really allows us to communicate with the API. We're doing stuff with the contact side of this. So in that case, we're going to go ct, and then components, contacts, and then we'll be using the contact object. And keep in mind this is case sensitive. Use ct components, contacts, and then we'll want the contact list so we can know what list they're on. Use ct components, contacts. And then with our contacts, we'll also want to add an email address, which is stored as an object. And then last but not least, we're going to grab the exception class. The nice thing about the Constant Contact PHP SDK is it does provide a nice little exception class for you to use for catching exceptions, so we don't have to worry about doing a lot of work with that. So now we've basically set up everything that's required to start interacting with the SDK in our PHP script. So far, very, very easy to do. Now in this case, what we can do is we'll just say ctct equals new constant contact. Again, our object, if it's spelled right. And then we can go ahead and use the API key right here to tell us this is our API key. The next thing we want to do if we're adding contacts is find out what list we have available. So we're going to do var export, just so it's nicely formatted, ctct get lists. And you'll notice that in this get list, we're going to need an access token, which we haven't generated yet. So we'll just go ahead and close that out, and we'll go back to our nice little developer.constantcontact portal here. And if we go to the home page and then click on IO Docs, this is a really easy and quick way to get an access token for a Constant Contact account. Just click Get Access Token. We click on Get Access Token. I already have an account. And now you log in using your Constant Contact credentials. You'll be asked, do you want to grant access? You know, in this case, if you'd use the OAuth token redirect where you wanted to actually have them log in, this is a screen your users would see. When they click grant access, they'd be redirected to the URL you put in there. And we have a hashed access token we can use. So let's just copy, and we'll put that in our script as well as a constant. So define access token. Throw that in there. And now if we do get list access token, and we'll go ahead and put a die in there as well, and we jump back to our script, and we click refresh. We can then do a view source, and you'll see these are the different lists we have to choose from. So we can actually choose which list based on ID we want to add our contacts to. In this case, we want to add them to the test list, so I'm going to grab that ID, and we can go ahead and jump back to our script here and delete that, and we're just going to make a variable called list ID equal to that list ID, so we know to add them. Now once we've done that, we can actually start building our contact. So we'll just do contact equals new contact. Very, very easy so far, and what this will do, if we do a var export on contact, is we will be able to see the contact object, and you can see in this case that the contact object contains a status, a first name, middle name, last name, whether they're confirmed or not, their source, their email address, which we'll add as an object, and then other information as well that we can add, and then the list they'll be subscribed to. So if we jump back to our code here, we can go ahead and get rid of that. We can now start setting our contact information. So contact first name equals Mike. Contact last name equals Stowe. Contact. And then we're going to actually use the method add email. And we'll type in my email here. And then contact. And we have an add list method, add list. And we can go list ID. And so far, so good. Now what we've done is we've told this contact object, this is the first name we want, the last name we want, the email address, and we want them on that test list, again using the list ID we looked up earlier. And here's the kicker. To save the contact, we're simply going to go ctct. Because we're adding a contact instead of updating one, we'll go to add contact. We'll need our access token from the contact information, and we'll use false for the last flag. And that's all she wrote. We can save that, we can run this script, and we have now successfully added a contact using the Constant Contact API, and we've also retrieved the list. So as you can see, it's very, very easy to do, very easy to get started, and the SDK provides a lot of shortcuts to allow you to do a lot of great things. And we'll be posting even more videos here shortly to let you see exactly what you can do with the SDK and walk you through each of those different functions step by step. thank you guys for using the Constant Contact API, and please, if you have any questions, feel free to email API support@constantcontact.com. Have a great day.